Couples who have moved in together. What surprised you most about living with a male-female? I thought if I ever moved in with a girl, I'd have to be way less of a slob. Turns out I'm the neat freak in this relationship. How often I'd be helping her find her car keys. Eventually, I put up a hook that I was able to get her in the habit of using. Made me tear up a little at the time. But a couple weeks after we split, I remember getting a text from her that said I miss being able to find my keys. Everything has a decorative pillow on it. They are too small to be used for anything. And I'm not allowed to throw them on the floor or pile them all on one chair. The bed has a bunch. And a long tube thing. I'm not allowed to whack her with the tube thing. Where did these come from? Why do we need them? If they're just in the way, can we put them in storage? No? Okay. Babe, whatever you want. The hair. Man, it gets everywhere. How different our versions of Ossiclean are. That your partner may follow you around the house, just because. I have never observed my wife put a bobby pin in her hair. I have found thousands of bobby pins in our house. Learning that there's a wrong way to fold towels apparently. My wife has really long beautiful hair. I was not prepared to find that all in my butt and crotch regions as often as I do. I could never be prepared to have one stuck in my ass and have to pull it out like some mangy dog. I've never felt more violated or unclean than when I felt those hairs basically floss my lower GI tract. Somehow I swallowed a few and passing them is a really disgusting feeling. She has told me that hasn't happened to her too, which makes it weirder. She's good at playing Tetris and very organized. I was living with my parents since I traveled for work and only made it home 1 or 2 weekends a month. She moved in with me at my parents' house. We had one room to store stuff, my bedroom. We bought things we'd need when we moved out when we saw a deal too good to pass up and she stored them. I realized she was good when we had to make 4 trips to get all our stuff out. 4 trips. This girl had boxes inside boxes inside boxes. She utilized every inch available in our room to stack items. We just bought a house and still have some boxes left to unpack. I will call her at work and say something like, "Hey, do you remember that blue paperclip I like to use? I can't find it." She will tell me which room, which box, what container, and what is beside it, just in case I still can't find it. For me, how subtle the need for alone time crept up on me. I wasn't unhappy in the slightest and moving in was natural. But over time I felt myself becoming irritable, and it turned out that I tend to get that way when I don't have time to myself. Because I went from being alone in my room after work in my parents' house to being around so pretty much every minute I'm not at work or driving. So I found myself with someone almost 24/7. And it took a toll. Thankfully once I recognized that, it was easier to manage. His ability to be doing nothing. He can lay on the couch and stare at the ceiling and do nothing and think nothing. And he enjoys it. I would pull a muscle or pop something from the strain if I tried to do that. Edit. Thanks for the awards. I read it so he can nothing in peace. After living with him for 4 years, I opened a drawer of his dresser, and it was empty. All of it. Apparently he thought it was my extra dresser. He doesn't use a dresser. Clothes get washed and put into a clean clothes hamper. He puts socks and underwear in his bedside table. Now I'm wondering what other furniture in our house is empty. I always knew women went through TP faster than men, but I never knew how much faster they did. It got to the point I'd just grab a pack of TP whenever I went to the store for any reason. We may not be out at home, but we will be soon, I reckoned. And I was never wrong about that. She works from home, but the television never leaves. Bravo. I leave for work. Bravo. Come home. Bravo. Go on the elliptical. Bravo. 24 ducking hours of these catty women, and sometimes men, yelling at each other. Bravo. Always being on is like the only thing we fight about, which is probably a good thing. But Jesus Christ. Always with the bravo. Even when I entertain her and say, "What show is this?" "Oh, Southern Charm." "I don't really watch that show." Well, guess what? I've seen 50 episodes of Southern Charm passively when I come home, and I know you've done 20x that. Goddamn it, I hate Bravo. I'm getting a divorce. I always thought of women as tidy and organized. That was until I moved in with one. I swear I spend 20 minutes a day helping so tidy up the mess she creates in the first hour every morning. Then another 10 minutes every day searching for brushes, hairbands, makeup, clothes, etc. No matter how long you've been together or have known each other, you truly don't know the person. I still love my husband dearly, but I wish he knew what the laundry hamper is. A lot of it's been mentioned. Bobby pins everywhere. Were everywhere. She was not a clean person. I did the cleaning. But one thing that hasn't been mentioned is just the sheer amount of accessories that she had. Tons of makeup and beauty products. A vanity full of it. Plus more. Lots of clothes. Tons of clothes she didn't wear. The true shock for me was the sheer amount of time my husband spends in the lavatory. I was told that we would start arguing and being miserable. It ended up feeling like a super awesome constant sleepover. Don't let people scare you into not moving in with a significant other if that is what you both want. My first roommate was a girl. She was the slobbiest person I've ever met. She had been a co-worker for ages and was always neat at work. It was stunning. Her bedroom was just piles of clothes. The living room was clothes and jackets everywhere. Half-drank cups of water. You name it. I loved living with her. It was a very comfy mess. My wife is quite a bit more of a neat freak and has a cute little temper. Sometimes I wanna live like Shirley and Frank. I had that for a year. The audacity. No, but real answer is how loud he needs things to be. Every song, movie, whatever has to be heard from 3 rooms over. Bobby pins. There were bobby pins everywhere. On the TV stand. In the couch cushions. Under the bed. On the windowsill. In the fridge. You couldn't turn your head without seeing 15 of those things. He peed in the sink. That's all. We haven't moved in together. And my boyfriend has his own place. It's sterile. It only has the furniture he needs and nothing else. I bought him a little plant. But it gets lost in the vast emptiness. In contrast, my house is full of soft things and it just feels more like a home than a long-term hotel. Moving in together would be interesting if he wasn't so wonderfully nice. If you and your partner are in different rooms, one of them will randomly decide to just check in by opening the door, smile and then going back to their separate room. Apparently the cat I raised since she was a kitten and loved more than life itself is more than willing to abandon me and love someone else much more in a blink of an eye. What an absolute master chef he is. I thought Ty was a great cook until we moved in together and he started making meals. Blew my ducking mind. Now I think back to when we first started dating and he would eat my cooking and say it was the best he'd ever had. The little liar. Brings a smile to my face. Edit. Wow. This blew up. Thank you for the silver. Kind stranger. Never had one of those before. How messy women can be. I mean, there's hair everywhere. The sink looks like a disaster area after she cleans her face at night. Every time she gets water, she gets a new cup and leaves the old one out, not in the sink with other dishes. Her shower has like 27 old bottles of shampoo with a dad amount left in each. There are ponytail holders all over the house. I think the cat had one out this morning, but she makes the bed every morning, so I guess it's alright. That one day they will eventually forget to flush a big dump, not check to see if a flushed one went down completely, and that one day, you'll find it and things change forever. For me it was that my boyfriend sheds leg hair everywhere. It's not as hard as everyone told me it would be, that's what she said, but seriously, understand you don't have to do absolutely everything together since you live together, and respect each other's boundaries, wants and needs. Everything went extremely smooth with my girlfriend and I attest that to having almost equal levels of cleanliness standards. I see a lot of people commenting on that and I feel very blessed that hasn't been an issue in my life. Don't know how I got so lucky with that. But what surprises me and what I fail to understand is the vast amount of time she spends getting ready. I try to understand, but I just don't. She looks beautiful all of the time, but spends an hour and a half to 2 hours before going out making herself look nice. She looks incredible when she's done, of course, but the whole process stresses her out and she has quoted it as a reason why she doesn't want to go out sometimes. Even during little outings with friends she spends the same amount of time getting ready. I'm a numbers type person. That would be just too many of my seconds spent on this earth looking nice for other people I'm not trying to physically attract. I don't press her about it because she has said it's just something she needs to do. How much I actually talk to myself. I never had any roommates, aside from one for like the first 2 weeks in college before I got moved to a single room. So I was used to just talking to myself out loud like nothing. After we moved in together and she kept asking, who are you talking to? And did you say something? I realized that I actually talk to myself quite a bit. The amount of toilet paper she goes through. It's actually really hard to effectively shower with another person. How many cups accumulate in our bedroom? It's extremely gross. Those hat things girls make with towels after a shower, their hair goes in the middle of it. Who knew? Going from having 2 pillows on the bed to like 15 or 20 seriously takes like 5 minutes just to throw all the decorative pillows out of the way before climbing into bed. Going from a bottle of shampoo and a bar of soap in the shower to bottles upon bottles of cream rinses and conditioners and even a big old Luftwaffe sponge hanging in the shower. And forget about ever seeing the top of the bathroom vanity again. And then the knickknacks spread all over the place. Useless stuff that seemingly serves no other purpose than to give you more things to have to dust. He doesn't take the initiative to kill the creepy crawlies that waywardly stray into our apartment. If he sees a house centipede he looks at it, then promptly turns tail and walks away. Won't even tell me the damn thing is there. I'm a girl who grew up having to call dad to kill spiders and bugs and it, so it's weird that I now have to be the one to viciously murder every insect who comes inside. How dirty my partner is willing to let our house get. I refuse to clean daily so he doesn't get comfortable with me just doing everything. House is pretty much a bachelor pad until I do it. I love the ducker though. He's my ducking soulmate. Having a helper. I'm always fixing or building something, and as it turns out my GF is always ready to be a great helper. She's like the kid I don't have. Pass me this. Hold this. Did you learn anything? Think you could do that yourself in the future? It's more fun to share a project and teach than it is to accomplish by myself anyway. I think it's good for both of us. But seeing tiny black rubber bands showing up all over the floor is a downside, lol. I think she uses them for her hair. The amount of toilet paper women use is staggering. I understand you need it and I'm not complaining about it to my wife, but the amount used is crazy. I feel so bad for any married man that has multiple daughters as well. That man could retire 20 years earlier if not for money spent on toilet paper. Methods of storage. Me. However, method to madness. Her. Organized. Several conversations have gone like this. Me, where is my blue notebook? It was on this shelf under my components box. Her, I cleaned up and organized everything. Me, okay, where is it? Her, I don't know. Why don't you keep track of your stuff? Having to tell him to do everything. Pick up his rubbish. Tidy up. Feed the dog. Do the dishes. Shut the door when the heater is on. Close the blinds at night. I'm not usually a nag and have tried letting it go to see what happens, and we end up living in a dump. TBH, it was that it worked out so well. My girlfriend and I moved in after about 2 months together due to circumstances of us both moving out of our current apartments, and it honestly worked out great. We didn't fight. We both cleaned and kept things tidy and it was just a ton of fun. We moved cities for her grad school to get her doctorate, and I moved back in with my parents to help remodel and not pay rent as she moved right next to her uni, but are getting a place together within a couple months. After almost 2 years of dating, we're both still super excited to be living with one another again soon. I feel as though, given the situation and how living together usually goes for couples, it should have been a disaster. I had moved out of my old apartment before she was out of hers at first, but she had looked up how 1 bed 1 bath would be an option, and I was hesitant because of how things like that usually go with an SO, especially after so short of time dating. It was one of the best and happiest decisions of my life. My ex used a ducking planet worth of earbuds, Q-tips. Like seriously, I would clean the bathroom. The next day, 6 of them are sitting out having been used. God forbid I forgot about them because the next day it's 15 sitting out. I'm pretty sure she is living happy somewhere with her lovely BF, single-handedly killing the planet with her ducking air gunk on those little woolly bastards. She needs reusable ones for any chance of our survival.